Sometimes I start rambling onwards. So the new MoveQuest website is going to go live probably anytime between now and early tomorrow afternoon. So we expected it to be live by tonight's Zoom recording, but I haven't heard back from the dev team and it's still not up. So I'm assuming that they're just tying up some loose ends and we'll have that front page ready to go. But I am going to give you a sneak peek of what it looks like. So it's going to completely change. It does have a lot of dynamics that you're not going to see in this still shot. So like when you mouse around, it does some really crazy things and it's got a lot of movement in the actual page. But just to kind of give you an idea of what it's going to look like when it does go live. And we'll have a video here that explains what MoveQuest is. Um, Kind of will give an overview of unlocking your miners and being able to hatch or to lease. This right here is going to represent our boosts that are going to be going live here in the next few days. This here is the scroll bar, so they'll be able to scroll and see the different miners. So your miners are actually going to get an update, which are going to be part of the gamification. So when you have a navigator, you'll have a fitness tracker. When you go to an explorer, your NFT is actually going to be a backpack. When you are a trailblazer, you have the running shoes. When you are a vanguard, you have a smart vest. And then when you are a Titan, you will have a ring, which will become part of the gamification. So based on your levels of achievement throughout the gamification, that ring will have a different like aura color around. And from the Titan, you'll be able to turn that miner into an avatar. Then the avatar will be able to start doing a lot of different things and um, within the gamification here with the project. Now, I'm not going to give, well, I guess I can. What's going to happen next, part of the gamification that we're going to be releasing here very soon, you'll start carrying your miners with you when you upgrade, but they won't be miners. They'll be boosts. Okay, so those boosts will be able to boost your mining power. And so you'll start carrying these different features for the gamification. So let's say you start out with a navigator and it's a fitness tracker and you upgrade to the backpack, which is the explorer. That fitness tracker is no longer an NFT because you've upgraded. And so that miner has gone into the holding contract there, the smart contract where all of the evolved miners are at. But it will become a boost for your backpack. And all of these accessories, they become accessories, okay, to the next level of your miner. And all of these will increase your mining power. They'll give them different boosts on different features of your next miner. So just so you guys know, we're really starting to pull in that gamification now. You'll be able to start boosting your mining power and adding accessories like the water bottles or energy bars or goggles or shovels and different things like that for like navigating and doing different hunts and things that we'll have with the gamification piece. So just kind of give you an idea of what the app is evolving to in the form of gamification, which has always been a part of the roadmap, the gamification. We just haven't really gone into detail with our community as to exactly how that would work. So when you look at this, this is like extra boosts that you'll be able to add to those miners. So let's say you're having a really good day, you're getting a lot of activity in and you want to boost that mining for that day, you'll have those boosts where you'll be able to do that, which is going to increase your mining power. Again, it kind of explains what the mining dock looks like. You can kind of see these are just rough drafts of what the miners look like. They're not anything like this, just so you know, like the shoe and everything. They're pretty fancy and jazzy. Also, you know, our testimonials that we'll have on the website, just a little bit of overview of what crypto is and what our project is about, and then how to get started, a little bit overview on the front page. Then we'll have our frequently asked questions. Um, so basically, just so you can see that the actual website itself, it is changing significantly. Also on the dashboard, we really are going to streamline things in. So let me see. Oh, my computer is going nuts on me here. Let me bring up website here. Let me try to I got all this stuff in front of me. I can't get to my page. Let me try to hide the scroll bar. Okay, let me get over here to MoveQuest if I can find it. Ugh, Zoom, I tell you what, they have all these things that are always in the way. Let's go to the dashboard and okay, so like when you go to the onboarding, this is there's gonna be when you go to mint more miners, you actually have to come back to the onboarding page. But when you go to your miners now, when this updates here in the next several hours, all of everything that has to do with your miners is going to be on one page. You'll be able to mint your miners, you'll be able to dock your miners, you'll be able to see your inventory that you have for your miners so that you'll easily be able to find everything. You won't have to do so much hunting around and try to figure out where everything is at. So that's our first update. Next, I love to update everybody on our liquidity pool because I think it's important. A lot of people don't understand it. It's funny. I was scrolling around through some of the social media posts and people just really don't understand liquidity. So yesterday I did about an hour and 43-minute recording that I'm trying to get edited so I can get it online that I really go into depth about liquidity. And here's what I want to kind of share with you guys. For those of you who are still trying to grasp what exactly a liquidity pool is, when you're looking at, I don't always like Deck Screener because it doesn't always give like great, we've had some issues with them with like those scammers that have tried to duplicate our site, create our token on different blockchains and things like that. But they actually have been really receptive to hunting them down and getting rid of that stuff. So I've gone back to kind of using them again. The reason I like using them is because it's just kind of user friendly. But when you whether you use Dex tools or whether you use Dex Screener, whatever platform you use to watch the token, I'm just going to share with you some key things you want to look at. So what this FDV is telling you is that if all 21 million tokens were in circulation right now, we would need a liquidity pool of 239.3 million. Okay, we don't have 21 million tokens in circulation. So I'm going to swap back over here to this page. What we do have in circulation, total wallet holders, 199,598. That's what we have in wallets at this moment. And so that FDV is nowhere near that 239 million. Oops, I just must have hit the back arrow. Let me verify that I'm human quick. Okay, here we go. So we really don't have an FDV of 239,000. Now, when we complete our listing for CoinMarketCap, and we're just waiting for the website to go live, and then I'll notify them. They've already got the application. They'll review everything. And here's what happens. They have all of the smart contracts that are holding tokens that are not in circulation. And then what happens is this FDV gets adjusted to the real fully diluted value of the tokens that are currently in circulation. We actually have a very healthy liquidity pool. Now, I don't know how many of you are watching and following the liquidity, but if you were in other projects, which many of you have been, and you were watching the liquidity pool with all of the selling going on, when do you ever see that liquidity stay at a stable market value? That stable market value is because of our ecosystem. It's because of the utility and the use of the MoveQuest token. And so it stabilizes at the market value that is a fair market value for this token based on the size of our community and the engagement within our ecosystem. Now, when you start to see the price go up? It's because users are coming to the platform, they're purchasing MoveQuest, and they're minting miners, or they're depositing MoveQuest into the hatchery so they can incubate miners so that they can get their miners that way. Here on the 26th of December, they'll also be able to use MoveQuest to lease those miners as well. So that's the next update. We are on schedule for December 26th. And you never know with developers. So, if it ends up being the 27th, don't be completely shocked. But right now, they say we're on target and that the 26th is a very solid date. They also told me the website would be up tonight by 9 o'clock, and it's not. So you always have to give them a little bit of room. And that's just technology. It's just the way it goes. And it's not that they're doing it on purpose, because these guys work 24/7 around the clock. Sometimes they don't even sleep. So it's just that things come up, and sometimes, stuff happens. I mean, there's just nothing you can do about it. But what you always know with us is that we do deliver. But right now they say we are on target for the 26th for the leasing. So when you see this activity, it's because people are purchasing the MoveQuest token. This is what I love to see right here. The selling pressure has decreased massively. Why? You guys are all participating in that hatchery, and you are increasing your miners, the inventory of your miners, which is great for all of you because you don't have to spend money out of your pocket, a ton of money, because it's not cheap to get started with MoveQuest. If you want to mine with 8 Titans, you're going to spend about $60 to $100 from minting the tier 1 miner, doing all the evolving up to the Titans, and then unlocking all 8 dock slots. So the hatchery, it's a win-win for both sides, right? For the project and the community itself, it's removing MoveQuest from circulation. If you're mining that tier 1 miner, it's removing MoveQuest for 7 days. Or it's the next level, it's removing it for 14, or it's removing it for 21, or it's removing it for 28. The flip side of that is, we're depositing that MoveQuest into that smart contract, you're getting those miners at a drastically reduced price. But the upside to that is it is allowing the market to stabilize and to begin to increase in that market value price. Also, it allows the project to start to induce that inject, I'm sorry, not induce, but inject that liquidity into that pool. Right now, there's actually a buffer for the liquidity pool, which is really, really nice. We'll talk about that probably shortly after Christmas, so that once the app does come out and we start to release those tokens that are in reserve, that liquidity is also going to be there to buffer that as well. And we are going to increase the MoveQuest to 3,000 MoveQuest distributed daily on Christmas Day. Okay, just so all of you know that. That's our next update. So on Christmas Day, the MoveQuest daily distribution will go from 2,500 to 3,000. And we're just kind of testing the waters at that increase of 500 per day to see how the community handles all of that with the selling pressure and supply and demand, and hoping that everybody is responsible. You got to remember, this is a new listing. It only listed on July 21st. We started mining on August 1st on the Avalanche chain. And so it's just a baby. It hasn't really even started to do what it's going to do. And amazingly, it's done fantastic. And, the community has really benefited from it. It's also, I just want to also mention in passing here, kind of flipping it out off topic. Remember, guys, we did not do any MoveQuest allocation of tokens to anybody, including myself. We did not have a pre-sale of these MoveQuest tokens. There's been some posts out there flying around that claim that we did an unfair launch, or that we gave away miners for the Avalanche chain. Not one miner has been given away to people for any reason whatsoever. No miners were given out prior to listing on the Avalanche chain. No MoveQuest was allocated to any of the users prior to it listing and after its listing. You can follow the tokenomics very closely and the transactions and where the MoveQuest tokens are going from that vault. And so it's there is no whale scenario here. Yes, there are a couple of wallets who are holding. I mean, I'm the creator of this project, and there's people who hold more MoveQuest tokens than I do. I mine them and I buy them, just like everybody else does. Um, and so that makes this liquidity pool even more powerful because there was no freebie MoveQuest tokens. And so this is not an inflated market value. It's not a diluted liquidity pool. Every single MoveQuest token that is in circulation has either been mined or it has been bought on the exchange. So going on through what this looks like here. I love seeing this. 41 buyers and 202 sellers, and we still have a buy volume of 28,000, which is more than what is that, 1224? It's 4 times more than the selling volume. So 202 wallets sold in the last 24 hours. Only 41 buyers, but look at the difference. So the selling volume, that selling pressure has gone down. And when you come and you look at the liquidity pool, pay attention to these things here. Pay attention to where the liquidity is. Any other project, this would have been gone, and everybody in the community would have already pulled their liquidity. The community doesn't provide liquidity on an individual basis. It's generated through the use of the ecosystem, the engagement within the ecosystem. And so it stabilizes that market value. Now, coming back over to the spreadsheet, I know I talk about this a lot, but to me, these are powerful updates. These are things that people should know about the token. Sorry, I had to get a drink quick. These are contracts, okay, that are holding MoveQuest. This is the hatchery. There's 158,518 MoveQuest in there. So we're not including it in our first level of what we consider a fluid liquidity pool, but we do in the secondary level. So it is calculated into the spreadsheet, which I'll explain in a minute. Altogether, there's 355,552 MoveQuest tokens that are in smart contracts. Now the airdrop, this is the distribution contract. There's 110,563 tokens in there, but only 2,500 a day are distributed. So this is about 40 some days worth of tokens before the next injection of the MoveQuest goes in. This is what's holding, what's in the liquidity pool. In these different contracts here. Now, we are at day 139. So in total, 563,013 tokens have left the vault and are circulating. Okay. 215,513 was the liquidity raise. That was that liquidity raise that we did 2 weeks prior to listing. It got MoveQuest into circulation. Plus there was 100,000 that went into the listing. So altogether, right now in total distribution is 347,500. When you look at these two rows right here, the total amount in contracts, this is the total amount in wallets, and this is what is in the hatchery. This is also wallet holders, but you've moved them into a smart contract. And so they're either being held from 7 to 28 days. Most people in the hatchery, they go right back into the hatchery. And if you want to hold your place in the hatchery, because it's kind of competitive, and you don't have the AVAX that you need for your miner costs, it's $3 like on the Navigator, it's $24 on a Vanguard. Leave your MoveQuest sitting right there in that contract. They're safe. They can't get stolen or hacked until you do, and then go back in, claim them, claim your miners, and then get right back into that hatchery. Right now, We are at 175,000 that can be in the hatchery. It increases based on the amount of MoveQuest that's in circulation. And so it probably won't move up into the 180, 200,000 mark for another few weeks. Okay, because there's just, you have to make sure you got a healthy amount of tokens in circulation. When you look at the liquidity, the MoveQuest, there's 71,925 MoveQuest in the pool to 815,872 USDT. It takes the market value to $11.34. When you look at the incoming USDT, okay, we already have that MoveQuest bank. The Evolution's already purchased it. So we already have half of what's needed to be fluid in our liquidity pool, meaning that there would be enough liquidity for all tokens in circulation in the wallet holders, this amount right here. Go back up here. The token wallet holders. There's enough in the liquidity pool for everybody to get very close to that market value in that token. It would go down a little bit, but not much. It would be it would have the FDV, it would be met. We only need $322,509, and we've met that healthy FDV. That's almost a stable token, if you think about it. You got the USDT that's 1-to-1 to the US dollar, and our liquidity pool is almost fluid where everybody can get the same market value. This is why you don't see the price fluctuate in huge, drastic amounts. It doesn't swing way high and then swing super low because it actually has a very healthy liquidity pool for the size of our community, for the engagement in the ecosystem. And so when the community starts to grow in size, you'll start to see that liquidity pool get even more healthy. Okay, I like to use the word healthy, I guess, because it makes sense to me, but it's more stable, it's more solid. Visualize a swimming pool. And if you have cut that swimming pool in half or put like a little marker down the center, and if you have a whole lot of MoveQuest that's being poured in to that one side of the pool, and on the other side of the pool, you've got a faucet that's just dripping in USDT. You've got the MoveQuest side of the pool very, very deep compared to the USDT side, which is very shallow. Okay, when there's too much MoveQuest in the pool, it's driving the market value down. But if you start growing and the community is increasing in size, now the USDT is flowing out of that faucet, filling up the USDT side while the MoveQuest is being drained out of the other side. Okay, when the MoveQuest is being drained out of the liquidity pool, it's driving the market value up on that token because there's more demand for it. It's more scarce. And so it drives up that market value. To be where we are right now in this liquidity pool is very, very awesome. For those of you who understand crypto, you'll get it. For those of you who don't, I hope you'll get it when I'm done explaining this. When we had a market value on this token, let's say at that $100 mark, we needed $22 million to be fluid. There are no crypto projects that are fluid outside of like your stable tokens. And so for us to be this close to fluid is quite an achievement and quite an accomplishment, especially only being on the market for that 4.5 months. We only had reached, I think, our highest amount in the liquidity was that right around $5 million. And it was constantly going in. Liquidity was constantly going in. So that 5 million, it was staying pretty stable between 4.5 million and 5 million. And it was constantly getting that influx of liquidity, but it was because we were growing at such a fast rate in those that beginning 30 to 45 days. But then that growth started to taper down. And then what happened was you started to see that selling pressure and people started to sell. And then it brought it down to what would be considered a fair market value that matches the liquidity. But because we've got the self-funding ecosystem and because of the engagement in the users with the users, minting miners, unlocking dock slots, plugging in your miners, evolving your miners, using the hatchery to incubate your miners, submitting. Submitting is huge. We base most of our algorithm off the submissions of the token. That's like the foundational part of the entire algorithm, and everything else ties into those submissions. So the more submissions that are coming in, submitting that proof of physical activity to the blockchain, the stronger the liquidity gets, because that is what all these algorithms are based off. So when the submissions drop down, then the algorithm starts to change a bit. And then you start to see not as much correction in the market, but just the injection. And then as the submissions are increasing, you start to see more correction and equal injection. So there's a whole lot of things that take place behind the scenes with the liquidity, with the algorithms. But wouldn't you rather be right here now when we start growing again, when the new application comes out, when the new website is finally live, when the leasing comes out, when all the boosts and all the gamification is here, we really start to get that viral growth. To start with an almost fluid pool means that as that market value is going up with the MoveQuest token, that liquidity pool is stabilizing because it's not trying to catch up to a pool that needs 22 million. It's already stable with what it has. And now the liquidity can match what is being driven by the community, by the demand from our community, the market. And so we're at such an amazing place with this project right now. I absolutely love running these numbers every day to see how close we are. And sometimes they fluctuate. Today we had actually gotten to where we're almost at 300,000 is all we needed in the liquidity pool. Yesterday we were up to about 358,000. So it does change a little bit back and forth depending on, the engagement of the community. It all plays a role. This here, our fully diluted, our FDV would be 2.2 million. Okay, we're at 1.6 million, if that tells you anything. We are not far away. This is strength. All of you who are here on this call, this is so powerful. If you include the tokens that are in the hatchery, because when you claim your miners that have been incubated, they go back into your wallet. So now they come back in to circulation. So even that plays a role in the dynamics of this amount, because every day at different times these miners are completing the incubation and people are claiming them, and so it does change what's in the wallet holders numbers, what that amount is. And so that's why this fluctuates sometimes. But that's only at 4.4 million. Now, we've been at 4 million before. We were there for a few months. So that's nothing to get to. So when we start to grow and we start to see that community and that engagement increasing, it will take nothing to get here. So either one of these FDVs are very, very good. And it's a great starting point because we are only 1.2 million away from all tokens that are in circulation, hatchery, and what's been mined or what has been purchased. To me, that's amazing. Okay, you will never see that in the crypto space ever. And I am just I love it. We've done an amazing job. You guys are an amazing group of people in this community. Your support to this project has been top notch. It's been wonderful working with all of you guys, and we are so excited to go to that next level. So I love sharing this because I think that this is extremely important for the community to see these numbers, because when you do go to the liquidity, people who don't go and look at the smart contracts or know what's in circulation, they look at this and think, ooh, some people don't understand it. They think, oh, wow, that's 239 million. That's great. But really, that's not the valuation to a degree, but not really. It really symbolizes what a pool should have to meet the selling of every single person holding those tokens. And we don't have 21 million in circulation. And that is what this number is symbolizing right there. So I'm excited about that. Hopefully you guys are as well. The next thing, starting what's today's date? Today's 17th, 18th. On the 20th, the 20th through the 25th. We're going to be having little gifts, little surprises that pop up on the website. So you'll have to come to the site. They're only going to be there for 2 hours every day. And they're going to be there from 2 to 4 Eastern. We have to do that so that we can try to meet all time zones. So starting on the 20th, it's our, I don't want to, not everybody celebrates Christmas, but it's our holiday um, gift, gifts to our community, thanking you for supporting our project and kind of a way to welcome in the new year and really get, some momentum going here for 2025. So that's all I've got tonight.